My name is Iris Sommer. I'm a trained psychiatrist and professor of neuroscience. I've written 3 popular scientific books. One of them became a national bestseller. And I'd like to present to you my 4th book, which is called The Female Brain. When you look in biology, you can see that smart animals have bigger brains. Also, within the human race, smart people have bigger brains. And then, when we look at women, their brains are quite a bit smaller. And even more remarkable is that women have 17% fewer brain cells than men, and that really is a big difference. So a logical conclusion would be that women must be less intelligent. So let's see if that's indeed the case. Well, men are definitely better in mental rotations. They also have shorter reaction times. But then women have faster articulation. And also women are better in emotion recognition. When we look at general IQs, men and women are actually quite similar, given similar education, and that's not yet the case in all countries. And also interesting that women more often than men finish higher education, at least in Western countries. So that's a bit of a puzzle. Smaller brains with similar capacity, that's quite unusual. And the way women can manage that is by increased curvature of the brain. Also, female nerve cells have more connections than male nerve cells. And importantly, the metabolism of the female brain is some 15% higher than that of men. So quite distinct differences. There definitely is a female brain. And you could say that perhaps the female brain is more like a European car, while the male brain is more like an American car. While of course the American cars are bigger, they are not necessarily better, and in some aspects they may actually be worse. In fact, many things differ between men and women. Women mature some 2 years earlier, and this has a lot of impact. For example, this is the main reason why girls finish their schools more often than boys. Also, women have a more active immune system, and this makes for different health risks. For example, more men than women currently die of COVID-19 infection. Also, women have a different stress system than men. And for example, women are more vulnerable to trauma. And then testosterone, this hormone really influences a lot. And I write a chapter about transgender treatment with hormones. And if you use testosterone, so many things will turn more male: personality, risk-taking, but also health-related risks. So when we look at health-related risks, well, women are definitely more vulnerable for depression, for Alzheimer's dementia, for anxiety disorders, for multiple sclerosis, and they are really a 20-fold higher at risk for anorexia nervosa. If you think you're better off being a man, well, let's look at them. More autism, more attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, more Tourette syndrome, more schizophrenia, and more Parkinson's disease. So men have their disadvantages too. If you look at the Western society, it's still very gendered. And this means that individuals are still largely judged by their gender role instead of their individual capacities. Men are supposed to be adventurous and dominant. Women are supposed to be caring and obedient. And because of these gender roles, monogender teams still outperform mixed gender teams. Importantly, in many Western countries, including ours, many women still fail to achieve financial independence. And I think this is much more important than the number of females in leading positions. To conclude, in my book, I will show that sizes of the brain are largely different, but IQs are similar, and many mechanisms can compensate for the smaller female brain. But personality and gender roles are largely different and still are. Individual talents are largely wasted because people are judged by their gender role and not by their individual capacity. Healthcare, now this aspect really should be gendered, while in fact it is not. And we treat women as if they are men. So this is definitely something we should change in the near future. Also, society still wastes a lot of talent, and I discuss in my book how this could be improved. Thank you very much for your time.